Y'all, I was in here cleaning up, finally unpacking my bag from the cruise, and intermittently, when I would take a break, I would scroll through social media, and I kept coming across these Shannon Sharp articles and think pieces that just really got me into my feelings, so much so that I couldn't wait for the show. I was like, you know what, let me get this out, what I'm feeling. But guys, I think it's time that black men begin to tell the unfiltered, unadulterated truth about their attraction for young white girls. Want to talk about it? Here you go. Family, can we have a conversation? Um, Black men in particular, and let me go ahead and throw out this disclaimer because I already know that there's going to be a faction of the internet that's going to jump down in my comments and attack me on the basis of sexuality and say, oh, he's gay. How can he speak for black men? He's a fruitcake, and this is what y'all black women, y'all are listen to a gay dude before you listen to a straight black man and all of this. Miss me with all of that bullshit, all right? Because gay, straight, bi, or in love with an Epson color printer, sexuality has nothing to do with vision and your ability to analyze sociology and psychology of certain groups of people. That's number one. But black men, let's have an honest conversation about what this infatuation is and what this thing is about when y'all get rich and successful and then y'all go off and get white women, and then the intersection of getting white women and then young white women. Let me start out by saying when this Shannon Sharp stuff dropped, I even said it on my show a few episodes back that there was going to be no world where I was going to pay any attention to this, that I was blindly supporting Shannon Sharp, that I found it odd that he gets a $100 million podcast deal, and now Tony Busby with his ambulance chasing ass is now trying to get 50 million of it, especially considering the fact that Tony Busby filed that faulty ass lawsuit against Jay-Z that ultimately had to be dropped. From a visceral place, I was like, you know what? This is a bunch of bogus BS, and I'm not paying attention to any of it. Today, I had the luxury of having nothing to do, so I'm sitting around the house cleaning up, and intermittently, I'm getting on the internet, just looking at articles, and I'm starting to delve into this Shannon Sharp thing even more. And there was one thing that completely made me have to get on this internet and walk back my support of Shannon Sharp, and it was that young girl's age. The fact that a 50-something-year-old man walked into a gym and walked out with a 19-year-old girl's phone number, that's problematic as hell for me. All right, and honestly and truthfully, that's where the story starts and stops. We ain't even got to get into the nuance and the intersectionality of all the other things that I'm about to talk about post this sentiment or whatever, but that's where the story starts and stops for me. And it was that with no other detail when I said I can't blindly support Shannon Sharp and I can't hold my brother's hand walking him through this one because I don't have the emotional and the mental bandwidth to hold your hand through stupidity. We're not even finna get into the racial dynamic. As a 50-plus-year-old man, you didn't have the foresight to see how you engaging with a 19-year-old child was going to turn out bad. And then not to mention, as you read the articles, in the court documents, they are described as being in a 2-year rocky relationship. That don't sound nasty to y'all? That don't sound off to y'all? My uncles, my aunts, my grandparents. Let's just tell the truth about the situation. In what world does your 19-year-old family member come home from college, y'all are having a Easter dinner, and she walks through the door with her 56-year-old boyfriend, and everybody welcomes him with open arms? Anybody saying that their 19-year-old family member could walk through the door with a 56-year-old man and the family is just going to say, pass the peas like we used to do, you're lying. So what makes these situations okay for parents? Money. proximity to fame, access to power, right? Because that's what makes this okay for certain parents, right? That aside, I don't want to talk about the dichotomy of the parents. I want to talk about the psychology of the men that partake in this type of thing. When you add, let me back up before we get to race. Oftentimes, I am of the belief that when grown men get with young girls, it's a slew of things, right? On the most innocent of levels, it's midlife crisis, right? On the most innocent of levels. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a very fair person. I can probably get down with a midlife crisis situation where, yeah, I'm going through something. I'm just finna go over here and do a little yang, dip my foot in this pond 1 or 2 times, get over my midlife crisis, and get back to being a grown ass man. I can almost excuse that away, right? Life is complex. But I think the large portion of it, more times than not, has to do with power and control, manipulation, and big ass boys being in the bodies of men. I always look like a confused dog when a rich, powerful, successful man does not want a woman that is on his level or his maturity level. Like, let's really look at the day-to-day operations of all of this. At 56-year-old, and let's just take it on the most trivial of levels. Let's talk about pop culture. A 56-year-old black man, pop culture references for them would be quotes from Good Times, quotes from 227, quotes from Claudine, Run DMC music, reruns of Moesha. These are the types of things when we're home after work, drinking a beer in our basketball shorts. These are the types of conversations we're having, right? At 50-something-year-old, we're sitting around the house in our downtime having conversations about finance and investing and 401ks and all these different things. How are you having that conversation with a 19-year-old? How? What do you honestly have in common that allows for you and that 19-year-old to have anything beyond 4 minutes of conversation? Absolutely nothing. I hate to use the word unnatural because the word unnatural comes with a lot of historical hate behind it, but it really does feel unnatural for a 56-year-old man or woman to be with anything 19 years old. What are you talking about? What do you have in common? How is that person feeding your soul and your mental? Number one. Number two, let's get to the nasty nitty-gritty of it. If you'll stick your ding-ding in a 19-year-old, you'll stick your ding-ding in a 15-year-old because you find them both physically attractive. I'm sorry, a 19-year-old got the same body as a 14-year-old girl in high school more times than not. Now, you got some people who look exceptionally young. You got some people who look exceptionally old. But if you are attracted to a 19-year-old, bitch, you attracted to a 15-year-old, and there's something wrong with that. If you are attracted to a 19-year-old, you're attracted to a 15-year-old. There is no world whatsoever that I would be on a college campus and look at a young man or a young woman and be like, ooh, I will slide in that. All right? And let's just keep it real. It's not to say that we can't be older and admire the beauty of younger people. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never looked at a younger person and been like, oh, that's a good-looking young man. That's a very attractive young man. But that's where it started and it stopped. I didn't go home and jack off to the thought of no 17-year-old. I didn't have no visions or no fantasies of screwing no 17-year-old. And if you and anybody else do, you're nasty. All right? Let's address this comment that a lot of people want to make. Oh, well, she's 8. Let me tell you something. Saying somebody is 18 and it makes it legal is literally one of the biggest signals that you can send someone that your ass is a goddamn pedophile. You may not be one legally, but you damn sure is one mentally. Because no self-respecting grown person who takes seriously their role to protect the youth will ever let something like that roll off their lips. There is no world to me where 19 will ever be grown. 19 is not grown. It's not. It's not. In my mind, a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old is the same goddamn thing. I put their ass in the same box and they both better call me Mr. Latham. Quiet as it's kept, you shouldn't be having sexual relationships with anybody who the age dynamic would require you call them Mr. or Miss. That's the litmus test right there. The litmus test is if I ran into you and held the door for you at the grocery store, if your natural response would be, thank you, ma'am, or thank you, sir, we probably should not be engaging in sexual activities. Okay? So let's get a little nuanced here and let's talk about the intersection of young, non-black girls and successful black men. A lot of times, women out there, black women in particular, y'all do this thing where y'all be like, oh, they get rich and they go out and get a white woman, and some of y'all get really in y'all feelings about this thing about black men going out and getting white women, and y'all internalize it as a slight to y'all. I have been telling my female friends in my personal life and my viewers for the longest, y'all need to stop internalizing these rich athletes and entertainers going and getting white women, Hispanic women, non-black women. Y'all need to stop internalizing that as a slight to y'all, because thinking about your black ass was never part of the equation when they made that decision. Okay? More times than not, and many of them won't be willing to agree with this, but more times than not, when they go out and get white women, it has everything to do with proximity to power, access, and on the most sick and psychotic levels, getting back at the white man that told them they would never be anything. Listen, as a black man, despite the fact that I'm gay, as black men, we walk around and get soft signaling from the dominant culture that we are less than, we're not to be trusted, we're criminals, we're monkeys, we're apes, we're the scary black man in the alley, we are niggers, we are at the low to know our place, and that the white man is the king of the jungle, and that we are to bow down to the white man. Those are the type of soft signals that black men get from the moment we are born in this place. And what better way than to get back at the king who has made you feel down all this time and oppressed you than to fuck his daughter. There is no better way in a sick, twisted psychology for a black man to feel equal to a white man, or to put a nail in that white man's heart and his coffin, than to look at him and say, I fucked your daughter. And for a lot of black men, that's honestly where it starts and stops. Wanting power, wanting to feel equal to him. We're not going to sit here and pretend like America has not crafted the white woman to be its semi-precious jewel. Okay, so here's the thing. I got the money, I got the fame, I got the access, but I'm still a nigga. And I'm still black. And even though you are here and I've caught up to you, there still is this feeling that you, Mr. White Man, look down on me. So what is the easiest and the greatest way for me to get your ass back? And what's the easiest and the greatest way for me to feel like I'm equal to you or above you than to fuck your daughter or to fuck your women? That's what runs through the minds of many black men when they get with white women. It's like, oh shit, I don't got access to America's semi-precious jewel. Baby, I'm big shit. I'm up there with the white men. Baby, I got my black ass from the hood. My black ass who all of my girlfriends was named LaVon and Tamika and Sharon. Now I'm up here in the big leagues. I'm in the white people club. I'm at the white people parties. I'm in the white people business meetings. I need me a status symbol. And that white woman ends up being nothing more than his Gucci bag, his Louis Vuitton bag to show off status. Ladies, it don't be having nothing to do with y'all, my black ladies. It don't be having nothing to do with y'all. And it's time for y'all to stop internalizing that, all right? But black men, it's time for y'all to start telling the truth about what all this is. And it's time for everybody to have honest conversations about it so we can stop. I don't want to sew up division. I don't want to say that I'm against interracial dating and love because I'm not, okay? But we can't negate history. We can't negate history. And I think that there is nothing wrong whatsoever with interracial dating, just as long as it's coming from a healthy place. But when you're dating somebody of another race as get back, as a power play, as a pawn to, try to obtain access to a higher social club, that's problematic. When you date somebody out of another race due to childhood trauma, so on and so forth, there is something problematic about that. And now here is where I'm finna be a little nasty about it, or a little mean, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody when I say this, but you have to look at the history. And history has shown black men that white women and white adjacent women are just not to be trusted in these types of situations. You stupid ass black boy is what I be wanting to say to y'all sometimes. Do you honestly think this white girl would be with you if you didn't have any money? You stupid little black boy, in what world do you think that this white girl or this white adjacent girl, that her father would be all right with you sticking your Negro penis inside his daughter? Oh yeah, kumbaya, we shall overcome. Racism doesn't exist. They are only ever okay with it when you are rich and famous, and it will up their social standing. I was baffled to uncover, and I learned this in college, some of my white male friends, and this is not everybody, and this may just be the guys I was talking to, how there is this thought amongst some people in the white community that after a black man has been inside of a white woman, she is damaged goods for the rest of the white men of her village. They don't want her. You have been, that's just like one of the worst crimes a white girl could commit against the white male culture where she come from. After a black man touch you, you are soiled. That is how many of them feel. So why is it now that you think it's acceptable for you to be with them? Because you have money. And y'all dumb, needing therapy asses, y'all fall for the banana in the tailpipe every single damn time. Let me explain something to you. Them white women don't care about y'all. And not that they don't want to. They don't know how to, baby. They don't know how to. See, a black woman, not to say that black women don't sue successful black men and so on and so forth, but a black woman is going to care about a black man from the core of her being. She going to love you for real, down to your bone marrow. She understands the nuance of what you go through every day on a daily basis, and she loves you flaws and all. When y'all go out and get these pretty little young white things, they are only with you for the upward mobility and the status that you're able to provide and how many Stanley Cups you can buy them. And y'all fall for it every single time, then you end up in these Shannon Sharp situations. And now you need a soft place to land. And now all of us are supposed to sit here and welcome you back into the village with open arms and lick your wounds just for you to get through this situation and for you to go out there and rinse and repeat. Shannon, I ain't got it in me to do it. The second thing, and I don't know how obvious this is or not, and it's going to sound ignorant to many, but the other reason why rich, powerful, and successful black men, or shit, just mediocre, regular ass black men go out and get young white women is because they're gay. It's because they're gay. A black woman is going to pick up on behaviors that raise her spidey senses. She's going to pick up on certain things that are just not characteristic of a heterosexual black man. Those that are not familiar with the culture, they're not going to pick up on those subtleties. So when a DL man gets with a black woman, there's a paranoia and an anxiety that exists because he's in hiding. He thinks that that black woman is peeping all of his idiosyncrasies and peeping all of his little movements, and he's going to be uncovered. They don't have that fear when they're with white women because a white woman don't know what to look for. They're raised different, and it's not a slight. They're just raised different. They commune different. You know what I'm saying? There are things that we do in the black community or that a person can do that would be considered gay or suspect. Those same behaviors can fly within the confines of other cultures because they don't resonate and they don't register the same. And so a lot of times when y'all see these men go out here and get these doggone white women, it's because they gay. Okay? And it's funny because I wasn't even finna take it there because I'm not a big fan of being a black man and trying to make other men gay. I don't like when people do that. But let's just throw the thing out there. We're not going to act like there isn't no internet talk and that there isn't something just a little off with the relationship that Shannon Sharp had with his stylist, Hollywood, right? And here's the thing, because the commentary that I'm about to make, it really doesn't even serve me because I would love for the world to get to a point where gay men, feminine gay men, and the hardest, most masculine of straight men can sit down at the table together and eat or hang out together and it not be a thing, right? It just be like, oh, those are just two people hanging out. But that's not the world we live in right now. Hopefully we get there one day. That's not where we are right now. As ignorant as it may be, and as much progress as I would like us to make, we're not going to sit up here and pretend like there wasn't something just a little eyebrow raising about that relationship with Shannon Sharp and Hollywood. And then after the internet goes super crazy about speculation on if Shannon Sharp is bi or gay, then we get this planted ass PR move ass video of him. Ooh, my Michelle. Oh yeah, that's my Michelle. Sound like a creepy old pervert talking to Michelle like that. You know what I'm saying? Honest and truthfully, when that tape leaked, when Shannon Sharp went live by mistake while in the middle of having sex, I saw that shit for what it was from its inception. It's like, okay, what better way to debunk the fact that I'm gay than to let them see or hear me having sex with a woman? And Shannon Sharp, it was so desperate. It was desperate, and it was the desperation in it all that clocked your teeth. It was the desperation of it all that clocked your teeth. Because it was so rudimentary. It completely lacked creativity. Oh, let me just in order to put the rumors to bed that I might be gay or bisexual, let me leak a tape of me screwing a woman. They'll leave me alone. Okay. Okay, Unc. And at the very end of the day, somebody's preference and what they want, gay, straight, bi, terracotta pot, is none of my business. It's none of our business. And we need to grow to a place where we stop dissecting people's sexual preferences and whatnot. And we will get there one day in a perfect utopian society. But that age thing, Shannon Sharp, is the disappointing thing. I think Shannon, so many of us, black men in media, black people, period, we covet you. We like Unc. Like Shannon Sharp, you are loved. You are loved. And I'm going to tell you something, Shannon Sharp. You hurt a lot of people. You hurt a lot of people by way of disappointment. We are disappointed that a man as great as you are is willing to risk it all and make poor decisions by dating a 19-year-old. That's a poor decision, Shannon. It's a poor decision. Shannon Sharp, at 56 years old, truth be told, you shouldn't be dating anybody younger than 35. And real talk, that's just me being generous because I understand some people like an older, younger, dynamic thing. And just because it doesn't float my boat doesn't mean that other people shouldn't be able to partake in it. That's me being generous. The real me feels like 56 shouldn't be dating no lower than 45. 40. I'm always baffled when a man or a woman doesn't want somebody their age, their level of wealth, their level of access, their level of power. Like, baby, when I look around my house at all my rich shit and I visualize me being with somebody forever or super long term, part of that vision is us pooling resources and multiplying this stuff. I think one of the sexiest things on earth is a black man at work. Oh, baby, I love an important black man. That shit, you want to get me off? If you want to get me off, let me see a black man that's running shit. That shit makes me sit back and shut up, goddammit. He could almost slap me around and tell me what to do. That's how much that shit turns me on. And it just baffles me when other people don't feel the same way. It's just weird to me. It's weird to me that there are people out there that want people who they have nothing in common with, who they can have power and domination over, and you have to dig in and explain and explore why or whatever. I don't know. This has gotten lengthy. I feel better now because I was able to get this off my chest. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. If you're new around these parts, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch my show Monday through Thursdays at 8 p.m. And I'll call y'all later. Bye.